going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. If you're looking for my best bets, the games that I love, head to Pickdawgz.com. Click the Experts tab at the top of the page. It's a great time to do it because you can see NHL's back. We're going to be focusing on college football and NFL throughout the week. We're also going to be talking about MLB playoffs and the WNBA finals as well. So make sure that you jump on board. Remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase. For me, you can hop on my NHL Power Play on Tuesday. We're bringing back the NHL, and we're doing it with a bang. As we're going to have some premiums on the side, and we're going to be looking at stuff in your pockets with some ice cold hard cash early on in the season. But you know what? We missed the NHL, and we're happy to have it back. And like I said, we're gonna start on the right foot on Tuesday. But you guys know the drill. You know, we only have 3 games on opening night, but we've been waiting for it to come back. We're finally here. Let's not waste any more time. You guys know the drill. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. First, we're heading to Amerant Bank Arena for this matchup between the Florida Panthers and the Chicago Blackhawks. And Florida Panthers, big favorites for good reason. I think they're going to be in a lot of spots this season. But I'm going to be treading very lightly with some of these NHL cards, especially these bigger favorites, because I want to see what some of these teams are, coming into 2025-26. The Chicago Blackhawks were a team that struggled last year. They still are a team that I think can make some moves this season. Maybe not to a playoff spot yet, but not living in the basement of the Western Conference. But what I really want to see is what the Florida Panthers are without Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov. Barkov blew out his knee, probably done for the season. Tkachuk's going to be out for a couple months, after having surgery for an adductor issue. And those are arguably the 2 best players for the Florida Panthers. And like I said, even against the Chicago Blackhawks, I don't know how eager I am to just run and lay a puck line or lay a heavy favorite price with the Florida Panthers, just based on name brand and the fact that they are the defending champions in a banner raising ceremony. The Chicago Blackhawks, they were able to provide some value in spots early and late in the season last year. And while they're not a team that's going to go out and light the world on fire offensively, I think they can be competitive in the opener here and potentially steal this one. We see, at least for me, a lot of the NHL, this happened in baseball too. Early on in the season is when you're going to get a lot of value on teams just because the books are still trying to figure out who these teams are, like we all are as bettors. But they're trying to figure out who these teams are. You can catch soft lines. You can catch great prices with some underdogs that just, like I said, come out of the gates flying before they start to tail off maybe 10 games or so into the season. Like I said, I'm just not eager to lay this kind of price with the Panthers, and I think the Blackhawks hold some value here to maybe spoil the opening night ceremony here for the Panthers. So I'm going to take the Blackhawks here plus the 1.5, and I'm going to put a little bit on the money line on the Blackhawks at plus 235. Next, we head to Madison Square Garden for this matchup between the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and 2 Metro Division teams that have had storied runs over the last couple of decades, especially the Pittsburgh Penguins, who've won a couple of cups in their heyday, but 2 teams that really underdelivered last year. But I do think that between these 2 teams, who has the better chance at bouncing back in 25-26? I think that's New York Rangers. This was a Penguins team that really underwhelmed last year, ironically enough. Now you have Mike Sullivan taking over the bench boss job for the New York Rangers. He knows this Penguins lineup, and this is a team that didn't make a lot of changes from, like I said, what was a really underwhelming team last year. You have aging players, and Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby, among others. And like I said, I don't love this Penguins lineup going into 25-26. The Rangers are a team that, like I said, severely underwhelmed last year, but I still think that they are the better team here. They have a significant edge in goaltending. I mean, the Penguins carried out Tristan Jarry last year, who ended up getting sent down to the minors, and it's been sort of a goaltender by committee approach for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think the Penguins are going to blow it up this season. I think you're going to potentially see Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin end up getting traded or play elsewhere, after the trade deadline here. But I think the New York Rangers, like I said, are just the team in better position to bounce back in 2025. And like I said, I love Igor Shesterkin in goal for the Rangers as well. So I'm going to roll with the Rangers in this one to win this game in regulation and on the puck line as well. The final game on opening night comes to us from the Crypto.com arena, where the Los Angeles Kings take on the Colorado Avalanche. And, these are two teams that I think are going to be interesting teams to watch in 2025. But I do think the Los Angeles Kings are a team that I have, primed for some regression in 2025-26. They were a fantastic team at home last year. I think, when you set the bar so high, you can only go down. And I think that they're going to be a team that you have to watch for some regression in goal. I think that Darcy Kemper and, the goaltending situation for Los Angeles, I think is going to take a bit of a step back this year. On the other side, though, you do have the Avalanche sending out Scott Wedgwood here, who was still a quality option for the Avalanche between the pipes last year, but he is still the team's backup goaltender behind Mackenzie Blackwood, who is still out with an injury, a lower body injury, won't be playing in this game. It looks like it's going to be Scott Wedgwood in the opener. I think we're going to see some goals here. I think the over 5.5 is just a little bit discounted here. I still think that the Kings are going to be able to find their goals here. I think the Avalanche are going to come out hungry. Yeah, Nathan McKinnon coming out fuming last year after their playoff loss to Dallas. They were missing their best player, and he's not a guy that usually uses a ton of profanity, but he was pissed off after that team lost their playoff series against Dallas last year. I think that Colorado comes out with a little bit of a fire under their ass here, and I think they score some goals here. I could even push this to maybe over 6.5. Maybe, I think that 4-3 is definitely in the realm possibility here. So I'm gonna go with the over 5.5 between the Kings and the Avalanche to round things out. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. If you're looking for my best bets, again, you can head to pickdawgz.com. Click the experts tab at the top of the page. Remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Smash that thumbs up. Remember to leave your NHL picks in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys.